Welcome to Inner Power Training. Today is Metaphysical Monday. I'm Rebecca, and I'm going to share with you some more insights into manifestation, one of my favorite topics in the whole wide world, because once you understand that we live in a conscious universe, consciousness is it. Everything that's happening is related to what people are thinking, what we're thinking. Our whole life is based on our inner thoughts. So if you want to become a master manifester, you need to learn some of the secrets. Chapter 1 in this little book, The Feeling is the Secret by Neville Goddard. He's one of my favorite teachers. He talks about that the knowledge of consciousness and the method of operating this law will enable you to accomplish all you desire in life. Now, how amazing is that? It's true. The only thing that keeps us from accomplishing what we want to accomplish is our own selves and our blocks, because we have this amazing inner power. That's why I call it inner power training. And when we're armed with a working knowledge of this law, you can hold, build, and maintain an ideal world. You don't have to be a victim. You can be victorious over life and live life more abundantly. That's why I wrote my books. And if you pick them up on Amazon, you can go to my website to get them. I have story after story after story of how I overcame things like a diagnosis of cancer, an appendicitis attack, instantaneous healings, because I was able to believe, because I have an open mind, that anything is possible. And when I got some little upsets in my life, accidents, bad diagnosis, problems, I always believe there is a solution. Now, if you don't believe there is a solution, you're going to get more of the problem. So you need to work on yourself. That's called inner work. That's called shadow work, because sometimes it's buried deep in our subconscious mind. That was something I found out when I had a spontaneous healing of an appendicitis. I've told you before, I have this voice that has spoken to me a few times, very loving voice. We all have a guide. We're all connected to our higher self. We can surrender when we choose to get solutions. And when I surrendered, I heard a voice tell me to love a particular man. It didn't say his name, but I knew who it was. Love that man with all your heart. I surrendered. I got healed. I felt the adjustment in my abdomen. I knew that I was on the mend. I had to lie around for a couple of days recovering, but I recovered. You can do amazing things when you tap into this inner power. Jesus was trying to tell us how to do these things. And, they created a whole religion around him called Christianity. He was actually a Jewish rabbi when he was walking around teaching people. He didn't create the Christian religion, but he left such an incredible impact on the world that, there are many, many, many Christian denominations out there. And the teaching is basically unconditional love. Love your neighbor as yourself, and trust that God can do anything. He kept saying, you can do these things too, and even more. I and my Father are one, meaning when you get I am, this inner power, I am whatever I believe I am, you will be able to be and do and experience whatever you so choose. It's not easy. It's actually quite difficult to get rid of all this programming, and negative programming is a lot of it, but it's simple. It's that simple. You know what they say, once you know the truth will set you free. But finding the truth is not easy in this chaotic world. It's very difficult sometimes to figure out what the truth is. But once you start studying consciousness and you realize that consciousness is the one and only reality, not figuratively, but actually, you are the manifestation of your consciousness. It's the way you look, it's the way you act, it's what you're attracted to, it's what you attract into your experience. It's all about your consciousness. So, if you spend time working on your consciousness to develop in a positive way, you'll have a more positive experience. It's common sense. But you need to understand that buried in your subconscious mind is that programming. As a life coach, we like to go back to the first 7 years of a person's life to try to remember the kind of conversations they heard, the kind of programming they got as a very young child, because that flavors many times the entire life. If you heard, about lack and disease and problems, that can be a hard thing to break through and get rid of in your subconscious mind. But you can do it. You can always reprogram yourself. That's why you need to find good coaches and people that have been there, done that can guide you. Because if you're just walking around in a chaotic state, never really knowing what's real, what's not real, what's true, what's not true, not developing your intuition to be able to figure it out, you feel lost until you connect with your true, authentic, higher self, that Christ level of consciousness where you can discern, you can be guided, you can be protected, you can know what the answer is without any question. But unless you're working on yourself, it can be just a merry-go-round, going around and around and around trying to figure it out and never getting anywhere. But I love this little book, Feeling is the Secret, because he says things like every feeling makes a subconscious impression. And unless it is counteracted by a more powerful feeling of an opposite nature, it must be expressed. So, in other words, every feeling you have is making an impression in your subconscious mind, which is creating your outer world. So, the best time to impress your subconscious mind is when you're falling asleep at night. If you make mental videos of things that you desire to bring into your experience, they will show up a lot faster and more effortlessly than if you just drift off, letting whatever happened in the day put you to sleep, in a more chaotic way. It's always good to have a plan when you're falling asleep of what you want to focus on while you're resting so that you can impress your subconscious mind. You can say, I am healthy. I am free. I am excited about life. I am feeling wonderful. I am so glad that I'm resting deeply as I fall asleep and that I'll wake up feeling rejuvenated and relaxed. I love that everything is working out in my life in a positive way. And if you program for that, if you're always looking for the solution instead of defaulting to the problem, you're going to have a much better experience. I promise you. That's why I wrote these books. And in these books, I have story after story after story and techniques on how you can use these teachings for you to reprogram yourself to have a more positive experience. Maybe you want more of my financial freedom or better health or better relationships. You can create and manifest everything you've ever desired if you work with these principles, these laws that are governing the universe, because these laws are accurate. They're metaphysical and they're accurate. Prayer is reprogramming your subconscious mind. And if you pray while you're entering sleep, you will get better results. It's not so much what you ask for as how you prepare for its reception. The only conditions required are that you believe that your prayer is already realized. Ask as if you've already received. That's working from the end result. Once you understand that we're upside down thinkers, because when we have a problem, we're not programmed or taught necessarily how to just go for the solution and ignore the problem. That's how problems get solved. If you really program yourself to always look for the solutions will show up and you'll have a much better experience. Go to my website, rebeccatripp.com, and you will find some information there.